Alright, I might need to change into my superhero duds for this one. Ah yes, that's better. Today I'm going to have a look at the growing trend of venomized characters in LEGO Spider-Man, and why I wouldn't say no to a few more in the future, so that we can recreate one of Spider-Man's most interesting video games. Spider-Man has been appearing in LEGO sets since 2002, with 15 Sam Raimi film tie-in sets, and at least 130 other Spidey-related sets under various LEGO Marvel themes, ranging from the MCU films to comics and TV shows. With Spider-Man, of course, comes his rogues gallery. Villains like Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Sandman, and a lot more, having been made into minifigures themselves. One villain that has had a plethora of representation in these sets is Venom. A rather simple figure, but with the ability to jazz it up a little with the addition of tentacles of various shapes and sizes, or to make him a blob monster, also in various shapes and sizes. Nepotism is rife in LEGO, and in 2015, Venom's son Carnage was introduced. The first version of Carnage only coming out in one set, Carnage's Shield Sky Attack. In 2019, the figure was updated, those hints of blood orange giving the torso a lot of depth on a design that could have looked rather bland. We would have to wait until 2025 for our next non-Venom symbiote character, Anti-Venom. I only know this guy from the game Spider-Man Edge of Time, so this is kind of a deep-cut addition to the rogues gallery LEGO has been cultivating for the web slinger. But it is certainly a welcome one, to be sure. The simple black and white design is classy, and those splashes of red and yellow add some flair to that face. Just recently, he got released as a tiny little guy as well. Ah, cute! Now you might be thinking that I skipped out on the years between 2019 and 2025 because there was a symbiote drought. In fact, it's quite the opposite. LEGO got creative and introduced venomized characters. Heroes like Iron Man and Spider-Ham were taken over and corrupted by the alien goo, creating these figures. The half-and-half gold and black face of this Iron Man is wonderful to see. We even got a fully corrupted helmet version of the character a little later on, but the torso was a reuse, sadly. A venomized Spider-Ham would not have been my first choice for a hero to be corrupted, but evidently his version of Earth has its own venom to worry about. Pork Grinder is admittedly a lot of fun, and you can make an anti-venom version as well, with this Spider-Ham snowman head. We also got introduced to venomized villains too. Doc Ock and Green Goblin saw themselves playing host to the symbiote in 2024. Green Goblin came out in set 76279, Spider-Man Race Car and Venom Green Goblin, with a fully black Goblin glider, but a half-and-half take on his ride would get released in the UK in a magazine polybag a little later on that same year. The green venomized head is fantastic, giving us a hint of what a LEGO Lasher might look like, and if rumours and leaks are to be believed, we might be getting that figure fairly soon. Doc Ock also came out in a regular retail set and a polybag. The polybagged version has a slight alteration to the build, having two mechanical arms replaced with venom tendrils. The Doc's headpiece is particularly useful if you want to build an army of minifigs that have been partly taken over by the alien menace. As if we haven't been spoilt enough, 2026 offered up the symbiote version of Wolverine and Captain America, giving us this slimy shield print and a recolour of both of their helmet parts. All of these figures made me feel nostalgic for 2008 Spider-Man Web of Shadows. The plot of the game revolves around Venom starting a full-blown invasion of New York as he turns its citizens into symbiote soldiers. Nobody is safe, not even the superpowered residents of the city. As the game goes on, Electro, Vulture, Black Cat, and even Wolverine are taken over by the evil alien goo. And since we already have a venomized Wolverine, let's see if we can make a few more friends for him so he doesn't have to take down Spider-Man all on his own. We'll start off with the first Venomized villain that you face in the game, Electro. No, not that one. No, you're Shocker. Yeah, that's the one. Electro was tricky to put together. His classic face mask that he sports in the game has only ever come out on one figure, the lady version of him, available in Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Oh, and this Duplo version, but that doesn't really help us much. I did try to use this headpiece, but the green hair, yellow, white and black was all too complicated to balance properly, so I opted to go for this piece of headgear from the second LEGO Batman movie collectible minifigure series, used on the character Black Vulcan, swapping the arms for yellow ones and giving him a new head, although I couldn't choose between all of these options, so this is what I ended up with, at least for the time being. This yellow Nexo Knights villain looks like the electrical energy inside of Electro is melting away parts of the symbiote. It's not a one-for-one recreation of the game's version of Electro, who shoots out blue electricity, but it's hopefully clear who this is supposed to be. Out of all the custom figures that I've made for this video, this is probably the one that I'm least happy with, and I'll be giving it another go at a later date to make it more accurate. Especially if that Lasher figure is coming out in the future. It'll be much easier to use that yellow headpiece with the green hair to balance out the colours properly. Wolverine is the next character to be infected in Web of Shadows plot. His evil intro into the game is really badass, by the way, making the player dread the upcoming fight with him. The black head part is really good, but a hint of yellow would also have helped to make the helmet pop. We could swap the headgear for one of his alternative versions, but the two shades of yellow don't quite match, so I'll be leaving this guy alone for the time being. We don't have a symbiote Spider-Man to recreate the famous tearing Wolverine in half scene from the game, but I'll do it anyway. Ooh, that's the stuff. Black Cat is the next soup to be corrupted. It took quite a few years for us to get our first, and so far only Black Cat minifigure, only arriving in 2021 in that massive Daily Bugle set. Corrupted Black Cat is a blend of a bunch of figures: Anti-Venom's head, Spider-Woman's torso and legs, and a pair of arms and a tail to act as a tendril that come from this CMF Cat Lady figure, and Black Cat's standard hairpiece. The actual character model in the game is more mouth and teeth, but the Anti-Venom head is as close as we're gonna get, and I feel it works as well as any other head in LEGO's arsenal. This is probably my favourite custom figure out of the bunch. Venomized Vulture is up next, and once again I caught a case of the indecisives. At first I started out with these gooey wings, but they didn't feel right, and didn't match his in-game form. Neither does that head part that I used from a Bat minifigure. Oddly enough, I actually think that Wolverine's new headgear better fits his in-game look, but I don't want to upset Logan any more than I already have done. I went through a few wings before settling on the black feathered ones, which blend better with the figure. But I have been eyeing up other options for this guy. You could use basic Vulture wings like this. In the game, the symbiote doesn't touch the pointy swords that give Vulture his abilities to fly, but this green is a little too bright in my opinion to work with the black torso. I did consider building a custom set of wings to match the game's unique look, but I was preoccupied. That's all the Venomized characters from Web of Shadows. Interestingly, several characters that appear in the game have also been made in LEGO since the game's release. Moon Knight and Luke Cage help Spidey in the game, but neither of them get turned into alien slime. Moon Knight did get some concept art of him being turned to the dark side. A simple version of this can be achieved by using the Anti-Venom figure as a starting point and slapping on a cape and that Moon Knight headpiece to complete the look. I have made a few other Venomized figures as well, to add to the army that Venom is building in the game, using the figures that we already have as a starting point. Cap could have quite easily been turned onto Venom's side by a carnage-infused Red Skull, whose symbiote name would obviously be Hydra. Mysterio can also be crafted. Just turn Green Goblin's torso around and give him a purple cape, and now you have this deadly form of the Master of Illusions. Not sure about what his symbiote name would be. Mysterigo is the best that I can come up with. In the future, if that Lasher rumour is true, I'll have a go at a Green Craven the Hunter using this neck piece. Scorpion is also a prime candidate for venomization as well, and it'll open up other options for Electro and Vulture too. One final Venomized character that I want to talk about, but isn't in Spider-Man Web of Shadows, but does appear in the 2011 game Spider-Man Edge of Time. The character in question, Atrocity. Peter Parker and Miguel O'Hara, the Spider-Man of 2099, accidentally throw Anti-Venom, an evil scientist called Walker Sloan, voiced by Val Kilmer in the game, and Doc Ock through a time portal to make this monster that threatens both of them. I did my best to recreate it in minifigure form with the head from Venomized Doc Ock, and used one of the chunkier Doc Ock tentacle designs to make him as intimidating as possible, and to get those extra tendrils coming out of the arms. It's far too small in scale to be accurate to the game, but I'm happy with what I was able to achieve. And on that note, I'd best change out of my superhero uniform to wrap up this video, although I might be needing it again soon. After all, anything can be a throwbot. Let me know if you like this topic. There are a few other games that I've made custom minifigures for that I could do a video on, and I'm still thinking of ways to improve upon these Venomized guys as well. I'm sure there'll be a part 2 to this a little later on down the line, so make sure that you subscribe, tell me in the comments below what character you'd like to see Venomized in the future, and make sure that you come on back for the next one.